think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go. I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. It's Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, hey, everybody. How you doing out there? It's your girl, Kimberly Eichelle, and welcome to another episode of Talented Thursdays. I am so glad to have you all here. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. We are going to have a good time tonight. I have a dynamic guest. He is so amazingly talented, and we're going to have some fun, okay? We're going to learn some things. We're going to hear some stories. So you're in for a treat. Thank you so much for tapping in. My mentor, Charlene Carla, is here from Florida. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How's it going out there? Make sure that you all are pressing that like, that share, that love, all of that. So every week we can continue to bring you more episodes of Talented Thursdays and incredible artists, right? So listen, if you are listening on Instagram or Facebook or maybe YouTube, maybe Vegas Praise Radio, and to my new podcast listeners on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon, welcome in. I hope that you have been enjoying Talented Thursdays and that you would tell someone about the show. Now, listen, y'all know I like to start with a little story every now and then. So I got a call today and someone said, God told me to call you today and talk to you. And it was about a picture frame. There was something that happened with a picture frame, and the frame of the picture shattered. The frame of the picture shattered, but the picture was still intact. She said, God told me to tell you, Kimberly, that although things have not gone the way that you thought they would go, that your picture is still intact. I am still holding on to what I promised you, and things are still going to come to pass. So for those of you who are watching, who feel like your picture frame may have dropped, that those dreams and those things that you thought would manifest the way you thought they would manifest, and then it all came crumbling down, God said, I still have everything in control. Hey, the frame might have cracked, but the picture, the vision, the promise remains the same. Hello to Jessica Powerhouse Anderson in the building. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much. Also, it looks like maybe Shabetta Reed. I hope that I am pronouncing that correctly. Hello, and welcome in. You two are newbies, and I am glad to see you. Welcome to Talented Thursdays. So let's get started, y'all, because we are going on a journey tonight. Do you hear me? We're about to have a good time. I told you we are. And watch. Stay tuned, okay? So tonight's guest is actually one of the most talented and creative people that I know. His talents and creativity have led him to become a chef, a playwright, a songwriter, a costume designer, and even more. Yet somehow he still makes time to lend a helping hand to so many others. This gentleman has done so many things, from crafting dishes and floral arrangements that tell a story to writing plays and songs that make us laugh, cry, and think. He's also designed costumes that bring characters to life in a big way. And while others have received the applause, Many have never seen the hard work and determination of the man behind it all. Tonight, tonight, y'all, we're going to explore how he's managed to balance these creative worlds. Here's some behind the scenes stories and experience a bit of the works of Mr. Preston Coghill. Now, y'all stay tuned, all right? You're watching Talented Thursdays.
I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. If you feel alive. Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, y'all. Let's see. We have Theris Coates here. Hey, Theris, thank you for checking in. And now, y'all, you know how we do it. You know how we do it. And I want to keep it going. Let's give a drum roll for my guests. Y'all ready? Give it up for none other than Mr. Preston Coghill. Hey, Preston.
Hey, I look. I had to think about. I said, "Who is she talking about?"
Uh-uh. You know what?
Didn't realize I did so much.
You do so much, honey. And that's why I was like, you gotta be on the show. You know what I'm saying? You have so much inside of you. I was laughing with someone, I think it was yesterday, because I was talking about them as well. And they said, man, you make me feel good about myself. I said, I'm about to become like Flav. I'm a
Right.
all my friends, you know?
I know that's right. I
Yes.
appreciate you having me on, Kim. I really do. Yeah, this is
Absolutely. I
awesome.
appreciate you for being here. And let me just say this, that I'm not making up nothing about you. Everything that I just said about you is the truth. That's the thing. When we are moving and grooving, we don't even realize how much we do sometimes because
No,
we're doing what we love. When we do
that's
what we
right.
love, it's just like, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
that it's not hard, because there are times that it becomes challenging,
Yeah.
and we got to figure out ways. But when it's what you love, you just do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Absolutely.
yes. And you've been
Absolutely.
doing it well, Preston.
Thank
So,
you.
absolutely. One of the first things that I want to say before I do, Jacqueline Cannon is here. She said, hello, Preston.
Hey, Auntie.
Yes, yes. Thank you for coming on in tonight.
Yeah.
So, one of the first things that we do here on Talented Thursdays is rep your city. Okay. So,
Okay.
I know that you are on the East Coast, but the South
Yes.
at this point,
Yes.
tell me where you are, and I want you to rep your city. So, for anyone who has never been to your location, tell us what we need to see, do, experience, whatever it is that you'd like to share to represent.
Well, there's not very much here in this area. I'm actually in Greenville, North Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah, not too far from where I was actually born and raised, which is in Winterville, North Carolina. I'm sure nobody probably knows where that is because it is such a small area.
Wow.
But yeah, left the big city, left all that entertainment and everything that's going on. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm in Greenville, North Carolina. So
I
yeah,
love
the
that.
home of ECU. So that's one of the main colleges that is here in this area. And
Nice.
yeah, but there's not really much to do here in this area. Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you. But there will be things to do. Jessica
that's
said
right.
hello as well. There will be things to do, Preston, because you are there. Okay. And so
Yeah.
that's why you're back in North Carolina. Because if it wasn't
Yeah.
anything to do, y'all gonna have something to do now with Preston.
Yeah.
He is going to bring you entertainment. He gonna feed you, all of those things. Okay.
Yeah, I try to do as much as I can here, try to bring, a lot of my talents and a lot of fun and entertainment to the area.
Yes.
And it's a blessing. I can say that, to be able to come back, to my hometown, and to be able to try and do some fun stuff that I have been blessed to do over the years. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that for you, Preston. So let's do an icebreaker, a little fun icebreaker. Okay. So you're
Okay.
a chef, playwright, songwriter, costume designer, list goes on. If your life was a dish, what
Mm.
would it taste like?
Huh. I guess I would say maybe a little sweet and a little salty, all in
Mm,
one. Only
okay.
because the South is the South is sweet. So I mean, it is just the most amazing place to be in. It gives you a chance to really regroup yourself
Hmm.
and understand who you really are as a person without all the hoopla,
Right.
because a lot of times we get thrown into so many different things, and then we just forget, who we are, and then um, by being something salty, meaning that I can bring some of the most amazing flavor that would change your whole thoughts, your whole taste buds, your whole mind of, you know, um of what could possibly happen, like
Yes.
what am I tasting here, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So you just get a little bit of both, when it comes down to that. I feel like opportunity is there when
Hmm.
you take a moment and just taste the flavors.
Taste the flavors. Say
Yeah.
that again. Taste the
Yeah.
flavors. So, Preston, you said that you grew up in, did you say Winterville?
Winterville, yes.
Winterville, yes. No one has heard of that.
No.
Okay. Look, let me not
No,
say no
you
one.
will not.
I haven't. When you said it, I was like, Winterville. Okay, I love it. I'm here
Uh-huh.
for it.
Yes, yes, yes.
So yes, we have known each other for many years, but as I shared
Mhm,
with you just recently, a few minutes ago, really, I never
mhm,
knew your family dynamics growing
mhm.
up. So tell me about growing up, your neighborhood, and some of the people that may have inspired you in your community.
Yeah, so I was born and raised here, but then when I turned 9, my mom moved to, we ended up moving to Raleigh,
Mm,
so which was the big city. My mother's job transferred her there, so I didn't pretty much. I spent the earlier part of my years here, but then after that, it was Raleigh, and then left from there, and then moved away culinary school in Providence, Rhode Island. So,
oh
so
wow.
I kind of left the area, but being here in Winterville, you really get a chance to, like I said, you get a chance to really think about, your life. You really
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to really kind of focus on a lot of the things that you really didn't have time to do. So, and one of them is when you are a talented person, you kind of lose those things. So, growing up here, I'm experiencing a lot of myself again by being in the area. A lot of things that of what I've lost, you know.
Wow. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So
Charlene said, "Oh wow, I went to JWU in Rhode Island too." Yes,
nice,
indeed.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yep. Nothing
Wow.
like Johnson and Wales University. Yeah,
Awesome.
had a great
David
time.
Drakeford is tapping in. He said, "Greetings from St. Louis, Missouri." Thank you so much for
That's
coming
nice.
in.
I was in Missouri just the weekend. So, and I had some cast members and things like that that they had to leave out of St. Louis.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
nice. Yeah,
Yes, welcome. Welcome to all the new people. Look, your
yeah.
family is here supporting tonight.
That's
You hear me?
nice.
Yes,
Nice,
it
nice.
is. it is. So again, we talked about all the talents that you have, and we are going to dive in deeper. Let me just say, we haven't touched on all of them. We've touched on a few of the talents that you have, and I want to dig in deeper with you. So it's the old story of the chicken or the egg, right? It's always
Okay.
like, which one comes first, the chicken or the egg? So
Hmm.
let me ask you, what came first for you, Preston? You have a million hats that you wear. So which talent kind of bloomed for you first?
First came the culinary, the
Mm.
cooking, because of my grandmother. My grandmother was the one, and it's so funny because in her house she had this little stoop that would go from the den to the kitchen area, and I would always sit on that stoop because she would tell me stay out of the kitchen. And look at me now. So
Yes.
I'm always in the kitchen. But it started with my grandmother because when I lived with her, she kind of taught me a lot of different things, and she always said, my mom and everybody else was telling her to stop feeding me, but it was like I'm sorry, I can't.
Right.
Grandma cooks so well, why not?
It
But
was
then
the
also
love.
too, yeah. But then also too, my family does a lot of good cook. I mean, they're great cooks. My mother is an amazing cook. So, so I kind of took after them when it comes down to the cooking. And then when we moved to Raleigh and I got into high school, my home economics teacher was the one that saw something in me and thought that, maybe I should, pursue culinary school.
Mm.
Since I never went to the cafeteria, I was always cooking in the home economics class. So
Wow.
they were bringing stuff from I mean, to the home economics class from home for me to prepare stuff. So, like, them and my principal and my guidance counselor, like they really supported me in this
Mm.
gift of doing, and that's how I ended up getting into college, because they were the ones that helped me to write my essay and and all kinds of stuff to get into school. So yeah,
Yes. So
yeah.
you've been doing this cooking thing a long
Ever
time.
the majority of
Yes.
my life has been cooking. Yeah.
Wow. And for those of you who have never tasted Preston's meals, honey, you've missed it. You got to try it, okay? For sure. So do your different disciplines ever inspire each other? So for example, has a spicy meal ever made you want to make like a cute little red number? Like, I'm gonna make a dress now, something hot.
No, not
Mhm.
really. That was
Not
just one of
really?
those
So they
things.
never kinda cross paths?
No, never cross paths. I mean, there was some times when with my catering and stuff like that, like I
Mhm.
might see something that I like that I would like to do, depending on the event or something
Mhm.
like that. Like I'll try to theme it out, to pretty much, kind of give it that extra flair. So which
Yes.
would add, like I did mannequins on a buffet table with beautiful dresses and stuff, but it was an
Mm.
event that dealt with modeling and and stuff like that. So I try to theme it out when it came down to that, but the majority of the time, no, I just kind of took it for what it was and called it a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preston, you are so humble in all of your ways. Let me just say that I believe that they do cross because people,
Mhm.
you are an experience. You know how you
Mhm.
can go to a restaurant and you can just eat something, right? And you're
Right.
like, "Oh, that was good." That was
Mhm.
cool or whatever. But like you said, I bring things together. Who thinks to put a mannequin on a table at a buffet experience and just bring it up, elevate it,
Mhm.
make it beautiful. And so that's
Mhm.
how, for me, that I've seen over the years that your gifts definitely work together. So
Mhm.
you've worked in theater
Mhm.
for a long time as well. How did you get your initial start in that?
Yeah, that was that was an interesting one.
Okay.
So I working in Vegas, I was working for this company called Flowers by Tony, which was a private company. And she did a lot of stuff on the strip and,
Mhm.
like different hotels and all this kind of stuff. And so I was her lead designer there. And then she was telling me that this gentleman named Tori Russell,
Uh-huh.
um he would come in and he would purchase flowers because like when shows were happening in Vegas and all that kind of stuff. And this particular one, Tyler Perry was coming to do something in Vegas.
Mm.
And so he would come in to purchase these flowers. So so when he would come in to do that, the first thing that she asked me, she was like, "So did Tori come in, and get the flowers?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Yes." And then she said, "Well, what do you think about it?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I said he's an ass."
You like,
so
"Imma be
so she was like,
100."
"Oh my god." So but then after all of that was said and done, he came in and he purchased flowers for another time. He hadn't gone off to Atlanta and stuff, and then I
Mhm.
had went off to California doing some work and stuff, and then I had came back, and then he had came back, and he had came in and actually purchased some more flowers or whatever, and then we actually had a conversation. And
Yes.
then we're having that conversation. We found out that a lot of the things that we were doing, he liked and I liked. I knew nothing about theater at all.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
The only thing I knew was design, costuming, things of that sort. I knew how to do those things. And so
Right.
by having that conversation, we started A Source of Joy Theatricals, Broadway in the Hood. And
Okay.
so that's how that actually started. And
Wow.
so he was the one that enlightened me to theater. Like I really did not know anything about theater at all. I just loved doing what I love to do.
Right.
And at that point in time, which was so funny, I didn't even really know how to sew a lot of stuff.
Mm.
So I went out and I bought this little blue sewing machine,
Okay.
a little Singer I bought from I think it was like Sears or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But I went out and I bought it, and then I just started, trying to work on a couple of things, and but it kept chewing up the threading. And so I
Mm.
called my mom and I was like, "Mom," I was like, "Look, what in the world is going on with this sewing machine? All the thread that I'm putting in here is just chewing it up." And she
Right.
was like, "Your tension's too tight." And I was like, "Well, what is a tension?"
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh. What is that?
so yeah, like what is that? So then she kind of guided me through it or whatever. And then after then it was on. Like I was everything that I could imagine that Tori thought about, that he wanted to see on stage and all that kind of stuff, I was able to do. And so yeah. So with
Wow.
his guidance and me with my craft and my skill, um, we put it to work. And that's when we started doing all these different productions. And firsthand because
Yes.
you experienced it, with Once on This Island
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
then yeah, so it was like, so many different things that, to be able to experience that, so
Yeah.
I give him a lot of credit, for that part of it,
That's awesome. I never knew
Yeah.
that backstory. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that tonight,
Yeah.
and shout out to your mom for teaching you
Yes.
to loosen that tension up. Cause
Right.
honey, look, he been vroom vroom ever since.
Ever since we
Ever
started.
since he been vroom
Yeah.
vroom.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was a blessing, to meet you, like you said, during Once on This Island. When
Mhm.
I was a part of that production is when I had the opportunity to connect with you, and we just
Mhm.
stayed connected from
Yeah.
there.
From
It
there.
was just like, okay, Preston. And
Yeah.
so you gave me actually, I'd been in theater forever,
Hmm.
but you had given me my first lead role.
Yes,
My
yes.
first lead role
Miss
as Miss
Annie.
Annie.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes, yes.
right, Miss Annie
Yeah,
in Old Timers,
yeah,
which is actually one of the hardest roles that I've ever done. So I've
yeah.
always been like a supporting role, which comes with lines and such as well. So it
Mhm,
wasn't learning the lines for me,
mhm.
it was the emotion
Yeah,
behind the play. I
yeah.
found myself crying so much. So much during that play.
Yeah.
Like, I became Annie, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And
yes.
so because artists would always, talk about and actors often talk about, I should say, how they become the character and then they need to,
Yeah,
like, unwind, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, get out
yeah,
of that mode, and
yeah,
so Old Timers
yeah,
was heavy. So tell
yeah.
me how that came about, you writing Old Timers
Yeah.
and what it means to you.
Yeah, Old Timers it was difficult for me to write, but I was able to write it within 3 days.
Mm.
I wrote that entire production in 3 days. I had left Vegas, and I had came back to North Carolina to do a couple of things, and I was working at this retirement community
Mhm.
in North Carolina, and I was the chef there, and my boss at that time, she had a conversation with one of the residents' family members,
Mhm.
and because I had just came back, for some things for my mom, and with this, her speaking to this resident's family member. And she was telling him, make some plans because your mom, is get ready to pass. And he was like, don't call me. I'm on vacation with my wife. Don't call me until she's dead.
Mm.
And that broke my spirits down because I was like, how can anybody speak to their about their parent in that way?
Right.
Good or bad, however
Mhm.
it may look, but just to speak to about somebody's family member or somebody's, mom like that is just,
Yeah.
it was heart wrenching to me. And so it played with my emotions a lot. And so when I went home, actually, because I told my boss at the time, I was like, look, I was like, this is hurting me very deeply of just
Yeah.
hearing this. Do you mind if I excuse myself? And she was like, absolutely. So I left and I went home and I just started writing. And I couldn't quit until it was done. And so I really at that time I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. It was just
Mhm.
just telling me to just write. And so I did, and then it hit me one day to just turn it into a play. And so I
Mm.
said something have to be said about this because I just wonder how many other people that are out there that is thinking this way, or feeling this way, and that it just wasn't right. So
Right.
I wrote the play, and thank goodness, I ended up going back to Vegas, and then that's when the West Las Vegas Library Theater
Mhm.
worked with me. They helped to sponsor, me and stuff. That's why Vegas will always have a place in my heart because,
Yeah.
it gave me a lot of my start of me testing, certain things. Especially when I wanted to be creative, it really, really opened up some doors for me to be able to, say that yes, I'm able to do this, and I feel like I could. And then,
Mhm.
of course, the people in Vegas, the network of people in the community believed in me and what I did and supported, just like yourself. You were one of the
Yeah.
people that when you read the story, it was like it hit a lot of people when they
Yeah.
read it. It's hard to not read it and not feel something if you have anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And old timers, for those of you who are listening and those of you who may be watching, old timers is what the elders used to call
Mhm.
Alzheimer's, and
Yes.
still some of them call Alzheimer's, old timers. So again, with
Mhm.
a play like that, I had to study, so I watched
Mhm.
many videos of people losing their parents,
Yes.
of them transitioning right in front of them.
Mhm.
And so the play that you wrote started out, one of the big things that happened was I forgot to pick up my grandson from school or my granddaughter from
Yes.
school. And
Mhm.
so after I forgot, my daughter was so cruel, she was
Yes.
so mean. And she's like, "How
Mhm.
did you forget?" And da da da,
Yes.
and I'm like, "I just forgot. I
Right.
I just forgot because I don't know what's going on. I got old
Right.
timers.
Right.
But
Right.
again, when she says that line in the play,
Mhm.
don't call me unless
And
she's dead.
yes.
This play is phenomenal.
Thank you.
It really is. There are some funny parts, hilarious parts throughout. The
Yeah.
song selection throughout is beautiful, but the
Yeah.
story that you tell and the life that you show of just Miss Annie herself, like she is somebody. She
Yes. Yeah.
deserves to still have respect as she transitions through
Yes.
this disease that she did not ask for.
4.
So you
Yeah.
wrote a beautiful play. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
allowing me to be the first Miss Annie.
Yes.
I pray, that I did it justice.
You
I
did.
loved every moment,
Yeah.
and I want to see the play go even further, just
Yeah.
across the nation, across
Yes.
America and beyond. And so
Mm.
I want to know what has been some of the hurdles that you have faced. And while you're talking, what are some things that can be done to help you
Yeah.
get this story out? Because a lot of us are aging up. So as we
Yes.
are aging, our parents are aging. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? When we're
That's right.
young, and our parents are young, we don't even know how old our parents are at that point. We
Right.
just like, that's just my mama, that's just my daddy, or.
Right.
But as
Right.
we get older, we realize, okay, my mom is getting older because I'm getting older. How
Mhm.
can she not? You know? And
That's
so
right.
as they transition through their times in life, it's important that we embrace them.
Yes.
And old timers shows you how to do that through
Yeah.
the ups, the downs, the
Yeah.
funny moments, because there
Yeah.
are things that are funny, even in the midst
Yes.
of things that are going on in life. It's
That's right.
still, you have to live. You
That's
have to
right.
continue to live. So, how
That's
can
right.
the community help you? What has been some of the hurdles in getting it out even more? And
Yeah.
how can those of us who are around you help?
So at the moment we are planning to do old timers again.
Mm,
This time is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where the plan is for right now. And one of the main hurdle of everything is always financing.
yes.
Being able to finance it. Uh, I'm the type of person that I just don't like to use people,
Hmm.
just because if I can be able um to support or sow a seed into what you're doing, then I'm going to do that
Yes.
because it is going to be a strenuous, time, because I know you're going to go through some emotions. I know you're going to go through a lot of different things as we are learning even more about
Yeah.
the show. The show itself now is I've made some changes to the
Hmm.
show because people are like, you know, um, being able to have some of my own music, in the show. So I've been able to
Wonderful.
write some new music in there, but also too, I had to remember as well. The older generation is not going to remember the new music, but they will remember the old music. I have
Yes.
to remember that I had to keep some music, just like Walk Around Heaven,
Hmm.
all the Southern Black community is going to
Yes.
remember that song one way or another. So
Absolutely.
you can't, some things you just can't pull out of it, to be able to do, because the meaning is there. It means so
Yes.
much to them by doing that. Also, too, just being able to, I didn't want to sugarcoat the play. I wanted
Yeah.
to give it, when that gentleman said what he said about his mother, it was raw. It
Hmm.
was not, it was not sugarcoated. It was not no pretenses to it. It was just, it was what it was.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that people understood what was going on in the community of the
Absolutely.
retirement homes and all that kind of stuff. I wanted them to see the caregivers for what they do and how they respond to stuff. I wanted them to feel the family member when the family member is brutal and not understanding that, you know God actually gave them this job to do. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't pass the test. They just don't pass it. Sometimes they don't see it. They don't see everything that they have been gifted to see, but then they don't.
Right.
They
Yep.
just turn a blind eye to it. And I didn't want that. I wanted, if you have the opportunity to come and see the show, I guarantee you gonna have emotions.
Oh, yes.
They are
Oh,
going
yes.
to come. So don't come to this show thinking that, oh, I'm just going to see a show and that's it, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna feel some things. And it's gonna bring back some memories of some of your family members that you were like, oh, well, that was what they had, or that was
Hmm.
what they were doing. You know,
Yes.
I didn't recognize it then, but I do now because it's bringing it out. And these are the
Absolutely.
things that the comments that people say to me after they see the show. It's not to say that it's perfect or it's Broadway or anything like that. It is just a natural show that is going to touch your heart in one way or another.
All right, I know that's
Yeah.
right. Now, you said it ain't perfect and it ain't Broadway, but that
Mm-mm.
doesn't mean it's not Broadway
It's
material. You hear what I'm
correct.
saying? It just ain't been on
Absolutely.
Broadway yet.
Yet.
This is a story that
That's right.
definitely needs to be told,
Yeah.
definitely needs to be shared. And you're right. I
Yeah.
don't think when we did that play that there was a dry eye in
Mm-mm.
the house. There were
No.
scenes where you could hear a pin drop.
Yes. Yes.
It was like
Yeah.
she said that? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It was just like it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. So kudos to
Mm.
you, Preston. You have
Thank
so
you.
many gifts. We gonna move forward into some
Yes.
other things that you do. But he said it's coming to Charlotte,
Yes.
North Carolina. Those of you who are
Yeah.
in the area, make sure that you get your ticket for old timers. You
Yes.
are in for something special. I would even
Yeah.
say life changing
Yeah.
because you can never look at someone, especially, there are people who have a heart, but there are
Mm-hmm.
people who are kind of like all about themselves. If you're
Selves.
a person that is all about yourself, you will no longer be when you see this play. You will
Yeah.
see that life matters. And it's
Yeah.
only but a vapor. It's gone so fast. So we
Yeah.
have to cherish our loved ones, you
That's
know?
right. That's right.
Preston, we could go on and on and on,
On and
right?
on. On and
Yes,
on.
we can. So I want to
Yeah.
talk about you more as a chef, okay? So let's
Okay.
talk about food. Let's talk about food.
Okay.
I know that there are people who cook. And
Yes.
as us black folks say, there are people who put their foot in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They put they you like you put your pinky toe up into the so there is a difference than just cooking and
Yeah.
putting your toes in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's from the soul, it's from the heart. So what tips can you give to someone who is not so experienced on
Hmm.
how they can take their meals from bland to bam?
Mm. So I guess I would say is continuously trying to master it as best as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, I don't know if it's okay now because everything is so expensive.
I'm telling
To
you,
make a mistake,
the ingredient.
I mean, you can't even hardly make mistakes nowadays,
I'm
especially when
telling
it comes
you.
down to food. And be like, then you will hear your grandparents and all them say, "Well, why you mess up that food? You know that stuff is
Exactly.
expensive." So now I understand what they were saying when they say that.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, stuff now is so expensive. So I don't know what to say on that part of it. Because during that time when I was coming up, I mean, we could make mistakes,
Right, right.
with things. But I would try to say, if there's somebody that you admire, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, with cooking and stuff like that, just follow them. Like,
Yeah.
try to take into consideration like everything that they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
how they're doing it. Um, you know, it was amazing to me when I was in culinary school. Um, we stuffed a rattlesnake, so I never thought that I would experience tasting something
Wow.
like
Right.
that. But like snake meat was, I mean, everything tastes like chicken.
Uh-huh.
so
Exactly. Snake
so
meat tastes like
right,
chicken.
we had to stuff a snake, so and then yeah, so just start to try and sample stuff,
Right.
just really going to some restaurants that literally that you have never experienced or never thought that you would experience,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't say that I don't like something if you've never tried it.
Right.
So I would say experience, things that you would typically would not do.
Mm-hmm.
And you will find out, probably just the opposite, or that it may taste a little different, but yet and still
Mm-hmm.
it tastes great. You end up liking it.
Right.
So I would say, try to sample things that you never thought that you would, try, you know,
Yes. So you're
would
telling us to
probably
expand our palates.
right,
And she better say
exactly.
snake. I know that's
Yeah.
right. She said snake. That's what I said. She
Yeah.
better. I didn't say it with my mouth, but my face said.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
indeed.
yeah,
Wow,
so
wow.
yeah, I would
So,
just experience stuff.
just experience things. I
Mm.
love it. Look, this time is flying, and I knew it would,
Yes.
and I want to keep going, diving in. So recently, speaking
Mhm.
of diving in, you recently dove into songwriting
Yes.
and have actually been nominated for the Gospel Choice Music Awards for your
Yeah.
song God's Timing.
Yeah.
First off, Preston, congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
only you can jump into something and get an award for it that folks been doing for years.
I
Get
tell you, and
nominated for an award and people been doing it for years,
let me
okay?
tell you, and it's a blessing because at the end of the day, um, the young lady that was on there, Jessica Powerhouse Anderson, I have to
Mhm.
give her credit. She is the one that submitted the song for me. That I
Wow.
knew nothing. I just got an email, and I thought it was a scam. So I called the people to ask, and then they were the one that told me that Jessica was the one that actually submitted me in for that. So I thank her,
Wow.
for doing that because if people you could do things all your life,
Yes.
and if nobody believes
Mm.
in you,
Talk about it.
you I tell you,
Yep.
and it has been a lot in my life that has been that way, where I didn't have a lot of the support of people, of
Yeah.
friends, of family, of all that. And then, now, and I think this is the reason why I was able to write the song God's Timing, because I just believe that it is all God's timing, regardless of how a person thinks about you, how a person, if they like you or they don't like you, like, all of that. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter when it's God's timing. It has nothing to do with them. You can't even, you know what I'm saying? You just
Yes.
can't. So you just have to literally, just like Jessica is, she got this. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
like it gives you a whole nother feeling when you have support. And
Absolutely.
and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the support. That's all. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I am glad, that God has brought a new circle of people around you
Yes.
to support you. A lot of
Yeah.
times we as creatives will find, that it's not necessarily our circle that always supports us. They
That's
may
right.
try in the beginning, but it's
Yeah.
usually strangers. It's
Yeah.
usually,
Yeah.
people that
It
we
is.
just meet that see something in us, you
Yes.
know, that somebody else didn't see for whatever reason or didn't
Yes.
support for whatever reason. So I am
Absolutely.
grateful that you persevered, even
Yes.
through the quiet times,
Yeah.
even through the lonely times,
Yeah.
because I know how it is to be a
Yeah.
creative, and all
Yeah.
the work that goes in. I know what it's
Yeah.
like to be editing video and it take you 4 hours to edit a 5-minute video and
Yeah.
people don't even press like. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
know what that feels like. And
Yeah.
so for you to persevere, and come on through that thing, I
Hmm.
know that God has a purpose and a plan.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
like you said,
Absolutely.
God's timing for
God's
sure.
timing. Yeah.
Yes, Jessica said, make sure they vote. Yes, make
Yes.
sure that they vote. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, we definitely want to vote for you. I want to
Yes.
play a portion of some pictures and just
Hmm.
things that I put together.
Okay.
But before we do that, I want to play a portion of God's timing. Okay.
Okay.
So again, you were nominated by Jessica, but again for the Gospel Choice Music Awards. So
Yeah.
do they go to the website to vote? Because we definitely want to be able to vote for you.
Yes, there is a website. Please forgive me. I have no idea. I
Okay.
have no idea, but they can always go on. They can always friend me too. And it's the lavender is together and then rose. They can always go follow me on Facebook. Look on my Facebook page. There is the information there. It's very simple to be able to vote. I'll
Awesome.
make sure that I put it at the top so that you all can be able to go on and find it. But go to the lavender and then rose, and you'll find me there. And then do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, the lavender rose, TheLavender
Mhm.
rose, ROSE. You saw me, I'm like, hold on. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Make sure y'all go and tap in. Jessica, go
Yeah.
ahead and put that information in the chat as well if you have it. And again, tonight our guest is none other than Mr. Preston Coghill. Let me just tell you, he's just a talent extraordinaire. I don't know how else to say it. As I said at the top of the show, one of the most talented people that I know for sure. This man wears several hats and how he balances them all, I have no clue. But we know that everything that he has done is working together for his good and
Yeah.
will all manifest in God's timing. See that setup?
Yes, I
See
saw
that
that.
setup?
I saw that.
Yes, indeed. Let me play you all a portion of Preston's song as the songwriter for God's timing. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm. Yeah. I wake each morning with a prayer in my hand, dreaming of a life I can't yet understand. The road is long, the the journey slow, but I believe His plan will show. Every tear, every trial, every fight is leading me closer to the light. I know the answers will unfold in His time. His time. The story told. I'm still praying for a better life. Holding on through the pain and strife. Holding on through the pain and strife. It takes time. It takes time. It takes faith. It takes God's time and not my haste to find what love really means. The hope we're all chasing in our dreams. Oh, I've seen the seasons come and go. Come and go. Patience teaching what I need to know. Oh, love's not just a fleeting flame. Its grace is truth, it's more than a name. Every step, every stumble, every fall, He's guiding me through it all. Though I don't see the full design, I trust His heart. I trust His heart. I trust His time. I'm still praying for a better life. Holding on through the pain and strife. Holding on through the pain and strife. It takes time.
Yes, indeed. God's timing.
Yeah.
God's
I really believe
timing.
it. I really believe that now is the time to really just do it all,
Yeah.
because time can be so short.
Yes, it can.
I work with a funeral home here in the area. I do the florals and stuff for it. And
Mhm.
sometimes just being able to see, you see some people and they get lots of flowers, and then you see some people and they get none.
Yes.
And
Wow.
it's just amazing to me, and I would rather be that type of person that gets a lot of flowers,
Yeah.
to say, what did I do in my life to be able to help and support someone else other than just myself. And that's what my organization, A Place in the Heart Theatricals Inc., and we are about, helping others with their gifts and talents,
Yeah.
and helping them to see the potentials that they have, and how we can be able to continue to help them through, you know,
Mhm. Yes.
because you just never know.
You
You never
never
know.
know. A
No.
place in the heart. That is
Yes.
definitely a perfect name for what
Yes.
you do because you definitely have a big heart. Like I said, there have been many times where you've helped others and also many times where you've done so much work and the light is shining on everyone else but the work was done in the background,
Yes.
and so it's that heart, and you
Yeah.
do deserve your flowers not only then but now.
Yes. Now.
Now,
Yes.
and so
Absolutely.
I want to play this video, like I said, that I put together of A Place in the Heart, just showing your creativity. So
Mhm.
everything in this video, you all, is done by Preston, from the floral arrangements to the food. It's just beautiful. And so I want to show some of the things that you've done. Let me just give a shout out to a couple of people before we do. We are getting close to that time. My friend Justin Smith, thank you so much for tapping in tonight. My mama in the house, y'all. She said every good cook
Mama.
to taste, season, and test the texture. I know that's right, Ma. Thank you for being here, my biggest cheerleader. Also, none other than Maurice, running man, Maddox is in the building. He said he
Yeah.
definitely, talking about Preston, he definitely has a powerful gift from God. Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
And then my mom came back and said, beautiful song, Evangelist Herdy Randolph. I call her mom, y'all, but she said, beautiful song. God is an on time God.
Yes, he
Yes,
is.
he is. Yes, he is.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
is.
is. So here we
Mhm.
are. This is the video that I want to share with you all as well. And this is actually playing beneath the video is another song that Preston wrote for the company. It's called A Place in the Heart as well. So y'all, this man been busy but productive. That's what my mentor said the other day to me. I was like, I've been busy. She said, but productive. Productive is the
That's
word.
right.
I'm like, yes, productive. So here we go. Let's go. Shout out to A Place in the Heart.
Oh, there's a light that's rising in this place, a dream God planted that time can't erase. Every gift, every voice, every hand plays a part, building hope, building home, a place in the heart. This is where dreams live again, where the lost find strength within. We are gifted, we are called, we are one from the start. Come and shine, come and grow, let your purpose overflow. Welcome home to a place in the heart. Oh, 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 oh.
Yes. Oh, A Place in the Heart.
Place
Okay.
in the heart.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. They are saying that is beautiful. Beautiful, Shabetta said. And Latoya French, my friend, is in the building from
Yeah.
Dallas. She said, love it. Love it. Yes, indeed. I told
Thank
y'all
you.
this man is talented. We don't even have enough time to touch on a tip of the iceberg with Preston, okay? Because you also saw some things that he's working on, like the Rebirth Project. So to
Yes.
find out even more about Preston, about the things that he's doing, to get to the play in Charlotte, to experience his culinary arts, to go to the concerts and things that he has coming, make sure y'all following him. The Lavender Rose. The Lavender Rose. Okay. Preston, before we go, first of all, let me just say thank you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for coming on the show. You
Yeah.
are what Talented Thursdays and Talented Television is all about. You know, for those who may not know you, it's
Mhm.
just like, man, this is somebody that I've been able to present. But you're so huge already. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
people need to know who Preston is. You are a gem. You are
Thank you.
definitely called to do what you do. Your hands, it's like my guest last week, and I told him, and it applies to you today. Some people have one talent,
Mhm.
some have two, and it goes back to the parable in the Bible. As I told him last week, it reminded me of that. You know, the master gave some talents. At that time, talent was represented by money. One person buried their talent in the ground. And when the master came back, he like, what you didn't do anything with what I gave you.
Mhm.
But with you, Preston, every talent that God has given you, you have tapped into. You have tapped into it. Be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I know that the road has not been easy. I know that everyone has not been kind. I know that some people have left you behind. I know that you didn't get what you were supposed to get at times, not even your value, because your value is great. Keep going. God's timing is going to lead you to the right mountain. And I know you're not a person that necessarily wants your name to shine, but you deserve to shine. You deserve the recognition. And I am blessed and honored to be your friend and to be here and to be able to help you get your story out. Y'all support
Thank you.
Preston. How can you not? With all the amazing, there's something, you have something for everybody. Even if they don't want to see a show, you show can cook them something to eat. Everybody want to eat.
Yeah.
So
Thank
it's
you.
beautiful, beautiful. You know, I have my mom, she said amazing to tears. Your video moved her to tears.
Mm.
Jamita, one of my besties, my BF, is in the house. She said, beautiful songs, beautiful songs. And Shabetta agreed with me. She said, Amen,
Yeah,
Amen,
that's my
Amen.
that is my my love, my cousin. She is one of
Wow.
my biggest supporters, and I thank God for her.
Yes, indeed. I thank God for her as well. Thank you for being here tonight. Everyone that has loved on you, that has lifted you up. I pray that when you leave this episode, we ain't done
Yeah.
yet, but when you do
No.
leave, that you leave lifted, that you leave
Yes.
knowing that there is even more. There's more.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And for you,
Absolutely.
Preston, God deals with me in music, and I wasn't planning on going here, but God deals with me in music a lot when
Mhm.
I'm speaking to somebody. And for you, I hear the song Yes by Shekinah Glory.
Mm.
It's like there's more that I require of you. Will your answer still be yes? Will your
Yes.
answer still say yes? You know, and
Yeah.
your response to God is yes. I'll
Yes.
do what you want me to do. In
That's
order
right.
for you to get to that next place that God is calling you to, just
Yeah.
keep telling him yes. It's going
Mm.
to cause some
Always
things
will
to
be.
fall off of you. You're going
Yeah.
to keep saying yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As things get harder, yes, Lord. Yes.
Yes.
Friends may leave, still yes.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
when those things begin to shift, then the other things that God has for you is coming into alignment.
Yes.
That's all he's
I
doing.
believe it.
That's all he's doing is putting you into alignment. So
Yeah.
keep holding on, my friend,
Thank
my
you.
beautiful friend out there in North Carolina.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Shavetta said, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
Yes, Lord. Michael
Mhm.
Miller, thank you so much for coming in, my brother. He said, hey, sis, sorry I'm late. I am just glad you're here. My condolences to you and your family, Michael. I am blessed to have you here tonight. I know that you have been through some things lately, but God is in
God is
control.
in
He
so.
loves you and
Yes, he
I
is.
love you. Yes, indeed. So my
Mhm.
condolences on the loss of your mom.
Mm.
Yes, indeed. So, Preston, I want to do a rapid fire. I like to have a
Okay.
little bit of fun before we go, okay?
All right.
So, let's see. I just got a few questions for you.
All right.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay. Weirdest ingredient that you love?
Um, hmm, ingredient that I love. Hmm.
He's like, I don't know.
I
You say
don't.
you could use anything, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that would be. Hmm.
Okay, okay. What's most powerful as a writer or a director, the opening line of something or the closing line?
It's always the opening.
Always the opening. Come
You want to
on.
always set them up.
Yes, come on through. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Morning. Okay.
You
And
gotta
I'm the
beat.
opposite,
You
night
gotta
owl.
beat everybody to the punch.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Look, I'm working through the midnight hour, okay? Yes, indeed. When it comes to creating with fabrics and things, is it color or texture? Which one grabs you first?
Color always grabs me first. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
I wish you could see the color of this because I wore it for you tonight. It's not coming across as well on camera, I don't think, but it's like a lime green. I said, let me put on something that's gonna pop a little bit, because I know you like color for sure.
Love color. And I
Yes.
never wear a lot of color. And if I do
Wow.
wear it, it's usually red because red is my favorite color. But
Nice.
yeah, but I
Y-
most of the time I'm always in black.
You're in black, okay?
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. But you love color. I
But
know
I
you
love
do. I've
color.
seen your creations,
Yeah, I
okay?
love color.
Yes. Let's see. Best comfort food. Best comfort food.
Well, it's always soul food. Soul food is always the
Yes.
comfort food. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, you can't beat regardless of however you prepare anything,
Mhm.
you will always go back to the basics of Southern. Southern, it's just like music. With
Yes.
music, it'll always have a layer of gospel. I don't care what it is that
Yep.
you do. It will
Right.
always have it there. So I feel like with food, it's always Southern. Southern food will always be the comfort of being able to, yeah, take people over.
Yes, indeed. And
Mhm.
let's see, what's your last question gonna be? As a songwriter and
Mm,
as a new songwriter, what's a
mhm.
song that has always touched you? No matter how many times you hear it, you like that song moves me.
Um, hmm. Um, I would say Jesus paid it all.
Yes. All to him I owe.
All to him. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Paid it
Absolutely.
all.
He paid it all. Yes, he did, Preston. You gonna preach tonight? Let me find
Uh-uh.
out you a preacher too.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
You know I gotta mess with you.
I'm not gonna go there. Uh-uh.
You said, I ain't doing it.
No, not gonna go there.
Yes, Preston, I love you
Mm-mm.
so
I
much.
love
Thank
you
you for
too.
taking time out of your
Thank you.
evening to be with me here on Talented Thursdays. It's such a blessing, as
Absolutely.
I said. Any final words from you, my friend?
Just letting people know, always look to support and help someone, because you might be the last that they might be on their very end of their life. And if you don't take that moment to be able to listen,
Hmm.
you know, it doesn't even mean that you have to really do anything,
Yeah.
but if you just take that moment to just listen to them, it just might save their life.
That's true. That's true, Preston. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to read Michael's comments. He said, "You know, the song says that I still have joy. After all
Yes,
the things I've been through, I still have joy." And
yeah,
that's even concerning his mom. He said, because she is with the Lord. Yes, she
yes, she
is.
is.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she
Amen.
is.
And Shabetta says she loves you, cuz.
I
Love
love
you,
her
cuz.
too.
I know that's right.
Yes,
Thank you all so much for tuning in for another episode of Talented Thursdays. An
yes,
amazing episode with Mr. Preston Coghill. Keep coming back, y'all, week after week,
yes,
week after week.
yes.
Amen. I mean, we
Amen.
have a good time here. I told them we was gonna have a
Yes.
good time. We didn't took them on a roller coaster. We took them through laughter, through stories, through tea. We've been there tonight,
Yes, we've
okay?
been
So if
there.
y'all didn't have a good time, that's because of
Yes,
you. You just ain't a
that's
good
right.
time person. All right, then, y'all. We will see you next week, same place, 7 p.m. Again, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to Talented Television with Kimberly Eichelle, where you can see current shows as well as past shows. I have some great past shows there, you all. I have been doing this since about 2018. This is 2026. So you do the math, okay? It's been a long time. Go ahead and subscribe. And to those of you who like to listen on podcasts, listen to podcasts and such, make sure that you follow Talented Thursdays on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. All righty. Thank you all so much. Mike, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. Sending love to you and your
Yes.
family as well. And Shabetta, thank you, girl. She said, "You amazing, Kimberly. You too, Shabetta, girl. You kept the show going tonight, too. Okay." And then my mom
Yes.
as well. She said, "The gift of helps is never ending. It's
Yeah.
so much like our God."
Yes,
And my
indeed.
mentor taking it out, she said, "Great show. Thank you." No, girl, thank you. I appreciate you. Love
Yes.
you all. We'll see you next week. All right. Take
And
care. Bye.
bye.
Thank you for watching. Please support by subscribing to Talented Television on YouTube.